Hi, thank you for visiting Vorian. My name is Vori, and if this is your first time being here, then a sub and a like to the channel would be greatly appreciated. I also always want to say thanks for those people out there that's been supporting me through Saweria, it's like Indonesia's Patreon, and also my YouTube members. Anyway, let's talk about Digimon World 2. And also, spoilers alert, if you hate spoilers, then too bad, because this is going to be the final battle, what you're seeing right now on the screen. And I think I'm just going to start off with I do not recommend this game. Well, at least not for everyone. I do not recommend it, but hear me out, bear with me, take it easy, keyboard warriors. But you go on and ahead, share your experience about Digimon World games right there on the comment section down below. Anyway, what you're seeing right now is the gameplay that I was being guided with Captain Seijiro, my friend, that knows a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh, about Digimons, and at first I was reluctant to play all of this Digimon World games and the other type of Digimon games, but he was able to convince me. And for your information, this is fun fact but not so fun, this is actually my Digimon World 2 was actually one of my childhood, one of my experience, early age gaming experience. At the time, I was having so much fun knowing that I could play a turn-based game, carrying around 3 Digimons, fighting against monsters, against enemies with different elements, different type of Digimons. And in the game, I could actually crossbreed or DNA digivolve, which will result in better quality Digimon and different types. So at the time, I think I was not even 10 years old, I think, and I was having so much fun. But this game, the gameplay hours is very long. I gotta warn you, if you're going to play this game and you're not using guide or walkthrough, you're probably spending months trying to finish the game. Well, at least maybe over 50 hours per week playing it. In a regular speed, because while I'm playing this game, I'm using emulator, right? And every battle sequences I fast forwarded. Why? Because it took so long, and even worse at the time when I was using the original PlayStation 1, because it took so long. It took so long I could never get into the save points before it was my curfew. It was my time to go to bed. And my parents were yelling at me, so I never get to finish the game ever. And apparently, when I finished the game, at the time, I was only like not even halfway, probably like 1/10 of the game, my original progress when I was still a kid. Anyway, this game battle mechanics, gameplay should be one of the standard for Digimon games that I like very much. Exploring the dungeons using a vehicle, a tank-like vehicle with upgradable mechanics, it was not too bad. It's fun thinking of myself becoming like a pilot in a tank, or like an adventurer exploring dungeons. It kind of gets repetitive, but at the time, there are not much of a selection of JRPGs, I think, that I could play. And it was so much fun in the gameplay hours. Back then, even before 2000s, I think, or maybe it's in earlier 2000s. I think it's before 2000s. Gameplay hours is the thing, because you may not be able to afford a lot of games. Well, when you're playing an RPG, you get to spend a lot of hours within the game, and it definitely a definition of a high value in a game. At least at the time, that's what we thought. Look at that. So there it is. I beat the last boss, or did I? Well, anyway, in the game itself, if you want to give it a shot, you could again DNA digivolve again your Digimons. You get to save a city, so you'll have a hub of a city, and there's another one that you would be able to explore. So you transfer into different digital worlds, and different from the first Digimon world and third one that I'm probably gonna make a video of later on, you are not a real character from a real world that enters a digital world, but you are already there, if I'm not mistaken, trying to understand the mainline story of the game. But anyway, forget about all the stories just now. I mean, you're probably gonna look up walkthrough anyway, gonna probably look up guides, but the highlight of the game is actually the gameplay itself. You probably would like to try the more modern version of this type of Digimon games, which I'm probably also gonna make a video of, is the Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, and included in a bundle with Hacker's Memory. I'm probably gonna talk about that later on. But what a trip, what a nostalgic trip it was playing Digimon World 2. I mean, it was a pain in the butt experience at first, because you gotta grind, you gotta try to survive the dungeon, because your tank is going to have a limited fuel that will run out, and if it did, because of traps that becomes your hurdles, or because you basically just ran out of your fuel, then you'll have to start from the very beginning, because it's considered as failing to finish the dungeon. And aside of that, capturing Digimon is also a pain, because you'll meet a Digimon. If you're familiar with Kokobo Dungeon, then it's, or maybe the Azure Dreams that I previously talked about, then it's the type of when you move a step, then there's another enemy Digimon that also moves a step. So it's the type of dungeon. When you're in the same room with the enemy, then you'll be using a turn-based type of system directly, and when you encounter that enemy, you'll be taken into a battle sequence, and that is when the fun begins. There are, of course, elemental weaknesses or type weaknesses, stuff like that. You could name or customize the name of your Digimon as always, and you could again cross DNA or DNA Digivolve that makes you able to attain different type of skills from different Digimons, from your parent Digimons. I think if your understanding about Digimon is better than me, you'll probably get this through a lot of gameplays from different Digimon games. But nevertheless, the slow pace of the battle, as always, is annoying, but it's fine, because I love I was enjoying every step of the battle. They shout out the name of the skill every time they fight, and it's actually kind of funny, but it gets repetitively very easily. So again, of course, you probably want to play this on an emulator. This is actually a game that would be great if they make a remake out of it. Yeah. For Digimon World 1, I don't think remake is necessary, because if we're using DuckStation, then you'll be able to upscale the graphic and the mechanics, though it may feel very, very old and clunky. I'm still talking about the Digimon World 1, by the way. But on the second one, I mean, modern turn-based games could still use this type of gameplay. So I always am curious why Digimon World games, or why Digimon games in general, always changing gameplay mechanics, always changing the way that we could play the game. Please, if you have an answer to this, I am seriously asking, and please write down in the comment section down below and explain to me how or why is the develop team always experimenting on new stuff, on new things. Are they like using different teams every time or something? Or is it because of the decision making from the publisher Bandai or something? But anyway, when I was being guided by a friend of mine, Captain Seijiro, that red-headed guy over there, well, he taught me a lot of things about having the meta Digimon, having the best Digimon to be able to counter the last boss, and that is actually make my progress slightly easier. But there are so many different combinations of Digimons that you could do or you could use that would help you out in exploring dungeons, especially because specific dungeons will have different types of Digimon, and sometimes there are these towers or dungeons that would have most of a certain type of Digimons than the others. Well, if you're not familiar, if you're only like a Pokemon guy or gal, then a Digimon have the main different types, like the vaccine, the data, and virus. Virus weak against vaccine. Vaccine will be weak against data, and data will be weak against virus. Yeah, that's about right. But there's also elements like machine elements, fire elements, and what is it? Electricity elements. I don't really memorize all the elements, but all this is very affecting towards the battle sequence, the battle system. Like on the floor right now, that's not a regular color for the floor in dungeons. I mean, every dungeons or towers will have themes, and that's not one of it. That's the dark elemental type of floor. So if you're a dark element type of Digimon, then you'll be getting an increase in your damage. So I'm trying to survive this battle right now, and there are different mechanisms as well, like interrupt and counters and regular attacks. What other stuff? I think it was a support mechanic. In interrupt, you'll be able to literally interrupt your enemy movement. Therefore, assist. There we go. Therefore, you'll attack first before your enemy, and your enemy won't be able to do anything about it. They will just take a turn afterwards. If your interrupt move causes paralyze, then it's definitely stop the movement of your enemy. Well, assist basically like support mechanism, so you'll be able to heal, to buff, stuff like that. Now counter is lacking in the name itself, countering, because you need to be attacked first, then the counter attack will trigger. And of course there's the regular skill that is to give order and use the basic attack skill. Oh, and there's another thing, because you're using a tank to explore dungeons and you're a pilot in that tank, so you'll be able to assist your Digimons by using items that you have limited space to bring. You will be using cannon like this shooter gun here to recover their HP or their MP, or maybe give buffs or even damage the enemy with different type of limited items that you could bring. You won't be able to do this from the start, so there's a lot of upgrading. There's a lot of little things that annoys you a little bit, since you're probably, if you never experienced this in the past, if you're not old, if you're Gen Z and below, it's just little things that you need to grind for. It's little things that kind of unnecessarily prolong the gameplay hours of the game, but it's still fun. Especially if you love Digimon games. I gotta tell that one more time. I do not recommend this game. It's not a game for everyone, but if you love Digimon, I think you might like it. Especially because in the Digimon community scene, there's a lot of people was visiting the live stream at the time and telling me that there's an alternative edition or version of this game out there. It's like there's a lot of ROM hacks edition of the game out there. There's like a higher difficulty version. There's like an extra dungeon version. Even without all of that, the game itself actually provides you with a post-game feature. Actually, you'll be able to explore like an extra dungeon if you'd like, which have like hundreds of floors or something like that. This actually reminds me a little bit a feature of the past Star Ocean 2. I don't know about the new Star Ocean 2 remake though. Maybe they have the feature as well, but I haven't played that game just yet. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. That's about what I can say about Digimon World 2. Aside of this game being like a complete nostalgia for me, I understand now why people like Digimon games at the time and bring that bring that spirit up until now. I mean, there are lots I have tried. There are two videos out there right now, the first one and the second one. I also tried the digital card battle. I tried the re-digitized for PSP. I tried Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth that I mentioned, that I will talk about as well in future videos. But yeah, what do you think about Digimon games? Would you recommend this game to other people? Would you give me a reason why a person should try this game from the start, maybe even without the fast forward feature? Because, oh man, it took me so long to get to the end of the game. If I don't have a friend with me or people in my live stream that keep me company, I'm probably just, alright, I had enough experience of playing this game, I'm probably just gonna move on, because it took so long and it was so difficult at first up until mid-game, and it was very satisfactory, I should say, finishing up this game. And as you can see, it's already past 15 minutes and I'm not even done with the final boss. That's how final boss should be in every turn-based games. And this is not even Square Enix. I mean, Square Enix is famous for having like crazy tanky bosses, but yeah, let's fast forward a little bit. All right, let's fast forward a little bit and I'll show you how the game ends now, because there's like cutscenes out there in the past, in the PlayStation 1 era, that I could give you a little bit of a sneak peek, so you'll get how not modern this game was. The cutscene itself for the cinematic is almost similar quality to the PlayStation 1's. Let me see. I think I back it up too much. Here it is. So you go on ahead and enjoy the rest of the video here. I got about 2 minutes, and I'd like to say thanks once again to my Seria people, to my YouTube members, to you especially. Thanks for your subs, thanks for your likes. I see you next time, and once again, thank you for visiting Vorian.